Last week, we were pleasantly surprised when a couple of medical associations backed away from supporting transgender surgeries on minors. We were able just a few moments ago to talk a little bit about this with Congressman Onder. But this week, we get yet another pleasant surprise. That is an acknowledgement by the editorial board of the New York Times that America has a marijuana problem. Now, they even admitted that loosening all the marijuana policies has actually led to worse outcomes than they had expected. So, and by the way, this is coming from an editorial board that has long supported marijuana legalization. So are they and perhaps others finally sobering up and seeing the devastation that that particular drug has caused? Well, joining me now to discuss this is Jeff Hunt. Jeff has been for a long time speaking out on this issue. He is formerly the director of the Centennial Institute and chairman of the Western Conservative Summit, which is one of the largest gatherings of conservatives in the Western U.S., and I've had the honor of participating in that. Jeff is now the host of the Jeff and Bill Show that broadcasts across Denver, Colorado. Jeff, welcome to Washington Watch. Great to have you with us.
Congressman Heiss, it's great to be with you as well. And it's nice to finally see some reality coming to the New York Times, right? Every once in a while, they'll get it right. In this case, they're at least heading in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just jump off and use that as a springboard. What do you think of this editorial report?
Well, there's very few people in Colorado that look at the decision to commercialize marijuana and believe it was a good decision. Now, 14 years after we did it, this has destroyed our state in so many ways, from marijuana-related traffic fatalities to youth using marijuana to babies being born with marijuana in their systems to everywhere you go. You have to smell pot, whether you're driving down the road or going into downtown Denver. It has destroyed Colorado. It was part of really the turning point that took Colorado into a very progressive, godless direction. And a lot of people point back to that decision to commercialize marijuana. And here's what people really need to understand about this. This is not just, we're not going to put you in jail for having a joint in your pocket type of stuff. This unleashed $1 billion industry on our state that went out there and sought to get as many people using the drug as they possibly could. New York Times finally waking up to the impact this is having, that they have unleashed a monster upon the nation by allowing marijuana to be commercialized.
Yeah, and there's been so much happen in your state. I wish we had more time to get into that. But, you know, unfortunately, I would think, and tell me if I'm wrong with this, but I would say, unfortunately, the New York Times, this editorial, is not all in with where you are and where others are on this issue. But this is, on the other hand, wouldn't you say at least a good step in the right direction?
Oh, yeah, for the New York Times, absolutely. For years, they were promoting the idea that marijuana was harmless. Oh, if we just commercialize it, we can tax it. It's not that bad. And reality has hit them in the face. What this drug actually does to people, we're seeing an increase in psychosis, schizophrenia, and then there's this weird sickness where people vomit a lot from smoking marijuana, and that's impacting hospitals. You're seeing kids get poisoned as a result of marijuana. So it's hit the New York Times. Finally, they've opened their eyes to what it's doing. And they're at least heading in the right direction of, let's put some more regulations on this, because this THC, the drug in marijuana that gets you high, has no restrictions on it. And these marijuana companies have got it so pure and so potent that it's almost like a crack cocaine version of marijuana. And they're selling that in stores in places like Colorado, and it's having a devastating impact. So New York Times at least coming to terms with the fact that we can't let this be just the Wild West when it comes to marijuana.
Yeah, and it's not just the New York Times. I mean, there are several other institutions that seem to be sounding the alarm over the growing awareness of the dangers of the drug. I mean, you've got Columbia University, among others, the University of California. Some of these are systematically documenting marijuana's adverse public health effects on people. So there is indeed a lot of data out there, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, especially as it relates to psychosis and brain development for young people. We're seeing this to have devastating impacts. And look, Congressman Heiss, a lot of the states that have explored marijuana legalization are now rolling it back. Some states are just saying, no. We look at Colorado, California, New York. We don't want any part of that. Doesn't look like it's helping your state at all. You have more cartel activity. You have people crashing their cars as a result of being stoned and driving. And then it leads to all these other drugs. Congressman, 10% of all the fentanyl pills in America are coming through Colorado right now. So it unleashes a drug culture people don't want anymore.
Wow. Wow, that's startling information right there. So wouldn't you say that the public itself is also growing more and more skeptical to marijuana? I mean, this is it just a matter of time before we see a sea change, or do you think perhaps that might already be underway?
Well, I think it's coming. Look, a lot of people that used marijuana when they were younger learned that it wasn't that great. And this stuff's so much more potent. But what they're also seeing is that tobacco companies are coming back into the marketplace, utilizing marijuana to reach kids, get them hooked and addicted, and using the drug. And they don't want anything to do with that. So this was sold as, hey, you're going to smoke a joint in your basement. It's not that big of a deal. We don't want you to go to jail for it. But it's now become a billion-dollar industry that has been pushed upon our kids that people don't want to see anymore. In fact, the marijuana industry is making as much revenue and as much money as Starbucks is right now. And with all the challenges our kids are facing, this is just another hurdle that we have to deal with as parents. We don't want it. Let's roll it back.
Wow. We don't have time to get into this. Our time is just literally about 30 seconds away. But do you think this is going to perhaps see a change in direction even there in Colorado?
I hope so. Nobody in Colorado likes this anymore. In fact, I think we could repeal it if there was a vote today on it. But this is part of the MAHA agenda, right? We want to make America healthy again. Pot isn't going to help that. And people want to live healthy lives. So it's turning around.
Thank you so much, Jeff Hunt, host of the Jeff and Bill Show. Great to see you. I love your hat. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Congressman. God bless you. Yeehaw.